a few words on behalf of our group for everybody else. I was thinking about the idea of inaugural cohorts and what that actually means. The other night, sitting in my lovely room in Deakin with my Tim Tams, thank you very much.
Did you slam?
I didn't slam because I don't like slamming, but it was lovely. I did like that it was on the reverse of the page that explained how to do it, so well done on that. But there in being an inaugural group, there is an element of groundbreaking that comes with that. And this is obviously the first GHTI, and there was a testing experience for this on behalf of, I'm going to go blind in a minute. There was a testing of content, a testing of format, a testing of how would this work with faculty from so many different places and such a diverse cohort. We have people here who've been working for universities, we've got people here from private providers that have been here for 20 plus years and private providers that are just starting, and a whole gamut in between: operations, finance, res life, maintenance, you name it. And I think that was the incredible strength of this program, was that diversity of experience that we have. And one of the great opportunities that I got to watch over this week was we all came in a little bit kind of like, oh, what can I and can't I say, what can I and can't I share? And then we got to today where we probably couldn't get the microphone off some people, myself included. But I think that's what's special about this inaugural cohort, is that by the end of our experience, it was such a diversity of opinion and idea to share. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm taking away, is those side conversations that we had over lunch, the ones we had in our apartments when we went back to go to bed, the ones that you had where a faculty member would just come and sit next to you, and then all of a sudden you've gone from talking about the falafel wrap
Don't mention the wraps.
to how does a system university work when you've got campuses in Shanghai and Abu Dhabi and New York. So there is a special element to our group being the first ones here, and I think from that this is stepping stones for the people that have gone and come from after us. And as student housing continues to professionalise in Australia and New Zealand and Singapore and places like that on this side of the country, the impact of this first group may not necessarily be seen for another 20 years, but we might see some of our RAs coming to a GHTI in the future, or some of our student leaders, or that person that started on reception has ended up as a general manager coming to something like this. And I think that's the beauty of what we're putting together now. So it transcends boundaries in the pursuit of shared knowledge. I think that is a really capturing concept and idea from this whole experience. And so on behalf of the graduating cohort from the initial institute, we'd really love to say thank you to Deakin and for hosting us, for all the special touches, for the time, from the simplicity of checking in and knowing where to go. Like, all of those things make such a difference for this process. And so on behalf of us as the students, thank you so much for that, and we really appreciate it. The team from APSA, who obviously, there's months of work that have gone into this. We got the privilege of just like clicking, filling in a form and paying with a credit card. But these guys have worked, I don't have insight into that, but I can only imagine the amount of hours and just some of the constant talking about the really late and early video chats and all of that stuff. And so on behalf of us, thank you to APSA for this opportunity. And Vince, you mentioned about having the affiliation with a QOI and really trying to make a great sense of meaning from it. And on behalf of us, I think we'd like to say thank you for leading in that space, and the QOI committee and the board in that area, and trying to make good of these international partnerships we have, because that's a very special experience for us. So the APSA team, thank you really from us. And then our faculty team. How wonderful are these guys? And how willing they were to share insight and knowledge and personalise that knowledge. And having spent, it was very clear that our faculty have spent the time thinking about who we are, where we're at with our career path, whether we're just starting, whether we're 10 years in, and how they can use their experience to enhance what we're going to go on to do next. think that's what makes this incredibly special, and it boggles my mind in some respects that people are leaving huge institutions, but they're coming here to help this really small cohort of people. That is incredible, and it shows to us the kind of people that you all are, and that's an incredible example for particularly young professionals like myself to go, you know, they're doing that, that's where I want to be, that's where I want to aim, and that's the kind of person and the values that I want to hold closely. And so someone can look back and say, because of them I didn't give up, or I didn't leave residence life because it got tough, or I wasn't unsure how it worked because of the expiration that was set. So on behalf of us, to all of you, thank you so much for your time flying halfway across the world. And my last thing, I always find this quote very hilarious from Clark Kerr, who was once upon a time the Chancellor of the University of California, and he made a quote at the end of his tenure saying that as an administrator he'd learned three things: that universities were only good for sex for students, sports for alumni, and parking for faculty. And I think it's the funniest quote in the world because I disagree with it profoundly. And I think in summing up everything, is what we've learned is that there is so much we can take away, and there's so much more than just these basic concepts and ideas that we can integrate into our different operations and things. And so on behalf of the inaugural graduating cohort, thank you all very much.